Buonasera and bentornato to another episode of This is Calcio, the home of the most exciting league in the world, the Serie A. We're back from international break and we've got news that someone had left their club a couple of weeks ago. It's not Massimiliano Allegri, you haters. It's Andrea Ranocchia. The 34-year-old former Inter man was the first player that Monza had signed once they've confirmed their promotion to the Serie A for the very first time in the history. Unfortunately, he suffered a serious injury and his contract was eventually terminated by mutual consent. Ranocchia also have announced his retirement from football the day after his contract was terminated. The Assisi native have won the Serie B title, the Scudetto and the Coppa Italia. The most interesting part about this is that he won it all under the same manager, Antonio Conte. Sticking to Monza, they've got their first ever win in the Serie A against, surprise surprise, Juventus. Angel Di Maria had been sent off in the 40th minute after elbowing Armando Izzo, leaving La Vecchia Signora with 10 men for the remainder of the game. With 15 minutes to go, Patrick Ciuria crosses into space in the box from the right. Christian Gitkier snuck past Bremer to connect with the cross, putting the ball past Mattia Perin in goal. Monza held on till the end, getting a famous win against their more illustrious opponent. At the same time, putting more pressure on Max Allegri. The Bianconeri have not won in their last 5 matches in all competitions, having 0 points in the UEFA Champions League and in 8th place in the Serie A, 7 points adrift from the top. Talking about the top of the table, Napoli are currently the leaders along with Atalanta after they beat Milan 2-1 at the San Siro. The Rossoneri, however, without Rafael Leao, who was suspended, and Ante Rebic through injury. Despite that, Milan actually played really well but were let down by poor finishing. In contrast, Napoli were the more clinical of the two, given that the Partenope had lesser shots on target than the host. Luciano Spalletti and his men will look to continue their fine run of form this week as they welcome Torino to the Maradona Stadium. Andrea, Sottil and Udinese are charging up the table. They are currently third after their opening day defeat to Milan and their draw to Salernitana the week after. Udinese has embarked on a winning run, beating Fiorentina and Roma along the way. And just before the international break, they defeated Inter 3-1. That was after trailing to a 5th minute goal from Nicolo Barella. Granted, the Nerazzurri are without Hakan Çalhanoğlu and Romelu Lukaku, but Simone Inzaghi's team was still a force to be reckoned with, even without those two. Andrea Sottil has made this group of lesser-known players into this season's giant killers. Well, if you have destiny and success on your side, anything is possible. The only other team without a loss this season other than Napoli is Atalanta. They are level on points with the Partenope after beating Roma 1-0 in a match which they probably shouldn't have won. Jose Mourinho would want to forget this match ever happened. The Giallorossi outplayed Atalanta in every single way, including a number of shots and number of shots on target as well. Atalanta had only 1 shot on target and that was the goal by Scalvini. However, Roma were wasteful with their chances and Jose Mourinho got sent off after Nicolo Zaniolo and an Atalanta defender went to the ground while trying to get to the ball. But instead of waving a play on or anything other than that, the referee actually blew for a foul against Zaniolo. Jose Mourinho was absolutely livid and he spoke his mind and was promptly sent off. However, he may have a point though, because any tackle, any challenge on Zaniolo was met with the referee ignoring it. Even after Jose Mourinho was sent off, there was an incident where the defender was pulling at Nicola Zaniolo's shots, and the shots actually came off, and we all saw his underwear in all its glory. But no foul. It was in the penalty area as well. I can understand Jose Mourinho where he's coming from, but I feel that with the quality that they have and the number of shots that they had on target, they should be winning this match. Instead, they lost 1-0. You know, as they say, if you don't take your chances, you don't deserve to win or even draw. Let's take a look at the other scores from the week before the international break. Salernitana lost to Lecce 2-1, while Bologna finally lost and against Empoli 1-0. Spezia got 3 points against Sampdoria, while Torino lost to Sassuolo. Cremonese fell to a rampant Lazio 4-0, while Fiorentina got their second win of the season, this time against Hellas Verona. And here is the table after 7 matches. Napoli and Atalanta are at the top, sharing the points with 17, while Udinese are in third, just 1 point behind the leaders. Lazio and Milan are at 14 points, while Roma having 13 points in 6th place. In 7th place, it's Inter with 12, and Juventus and Torino, city rivals, the same. While in 10th position, Fiorentina with 9 points. And on the other end of the table, Sampdoria moved to last place. Monza lifting themselves off the bottom of the table, but still in the relegation zone. The Pantofola d'Oro Superleggera 2.0. The Superleggera 2.0, of course, is handcrafted as with every other Pantofola d'Oro boots. It is made with a flexible kangaroo leather upper and has flat laces for optimal ball control. Leather collar offers a reliable ankle support. Studs offer optimal traction and stability. Pantofola d'Oro del Duca comes in white as well. It is made with 100% calf leather upper instead of the kangaroo leather that comes with the Superleggera 2.0. But don't get me wrong, this is also a really comfortable pair of boots. It is of course hand stitched like any other Pantofola d'Oro boots. And thanks to Peach Performance, they are giving a 10% discount if you use this code upon checkout. So click the link in the description or in the bio, wherever you're watching this from, and get your golden slippers now. Let's take a look at this week's matches. First up, Roma hasn't beaten Inter since the Giallorossi did the double over the Nerazzurri in the 2016-2017 season. But the Lupi may be in with a shout for this match, as Inter has been on quite a wretched form so far this season, losing to Milan, Lazio and of course Udinese. High-flying Atalanta welcomes a visit from their direct rivals who denied them a European spot last season, Fiorentina. The Viola had a terrible start to the season, winning only 2 out of 9 matches in all competitions. Meanwhile, La Dea has not lost this season, but they have had an easier start to the season except for when they met Milan in week 2. Fiorentina will take comfort in the fact that they did the treble over Atalanta last season, twice in the league and once in the Coppa Italia. Bologna would want to get back to winning ways after their surprising loss to Empoli in week 7. They'll be going to Turin to face Juventus, a team that they have not beaten for 10 years. However, they can revel in the fact that Juventus have the lowest percentage of attacking passes in Europe's top 5 league. Just 18% of Juventus passes were made in the final third. Can Massimiliano Allegri get his team out of this rut? He still has Chiesa, Pogba, Alexandro, Caio Jorge, Adrien Rabiot and Manuel Locatelli still injured, while Angel Di Maria is on suspension. Can Marko Arnautovic get his 7th goal of the season in 8 matches? And here are the rest of the matches for round 8 of the Serie A. On Saturday night, Torino will travel to the south to face Napoli, while on Sunday morning, Empoli welcomes champion Milan. On Sunday evening, Lazio welcomes Spezia to the capital, while Sassuolo welcomes Salernitana to Emilia-Romagna on Sunday night. Also on Sunday 9 p.m, Lecce and Cremonese, the two promoted teams, will face each other. At the same time, Sampdoria will face Monza. And on Monday midnight, Atalanta up against Fiorentina. And a few hours later, Juventus up against Bologna, while the last match of the round on Tuesday morning, Hellas Verona welcomes the all-conquering Udinese. Can Andrea, Sottil and Udinese maintain their current form this season? Will Juventus get out of this terrible form at the start of the season? They did it last season. They had a terrible start and they in the end got 4th position in the table and get the all-important Champions League spot. Well, we'll find out next week. That's all I have for you this week. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Ciao.